Alright, so if you're clicking on the thumbnail, you already know what's going on. You would know that I won a league challenge with one of the most underrated old decks in the format. Rotation's about to start. Rotation's about to happen, rather. And I was sitting down thinking, what is rotation really taking away from us? And one of those things is not Archaludon, but a way to play Archaludon is changing. So this is one of my favorite decks in the entire Scarlet Violet format. This is one that I kind of forgot that I had built, but was looking around deciding what to play for my challenge and decided on this one. And let me tell you, dude, this deck is absolutely stupid. One of my rounds lasted 62 seconds. So we're going to get straight into it. Also, got some prize packs. Some of these will be added to the Letters for Santa box. So we will decide what exactly gets added later. And we will also open one of these first partner illustration collections today. However, if you want to see the opening, you can either skip to the end or hang out until the end. You might want to hang out, dude. I don't know. Kind of fun. Anyway, we're going to get into the deck. So, this is Poison Bridge. This is Archaludon Poison. This is one of my favorite archetypes. This is so stupid. This is not your average Poison Donk. This is not your dad's Poison Donk deck. So, the reason that you play Poison Donk with Archaludon, by the way, if you have any cups or challenges, try this deck out. It's so much fun. Before rotation, just like play around. See what rotation's actually taking from us. I know that the big three of the big four are leaving, but like other stuff is leaving too, and you want to be able to play it before it goes. So honestly, I expected that to take longer than a minute and a half. Anyway, we played Archaludon Poison Bridge, one of my favorite decks of all time. I would be playing 3 full arts, but this guy is actually like crazy, ridiculous, stupid off center. I pulled this guy on the channel. Let me know if you saw that video. Anyway, 3 copies of Archaludon EX. This is technically our main attacker. The goal of this deck is to try and donk turn 1, but if you don't get the donk on turn 1, congratulations, you've gone through most of your deck, which means you probably have metal energy in the discard, which means when you evolve your Duraludon into Archaludon EX, you can use the Assemble Alloy attack that you can kind of see there. Ugh, my camera is so trash right now. The USB wasn't working, so we had to use Wi-Fi. Anyway, Assemble Alloy says, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may attach up to 2 basic metal energy cards from your discard pile to your metal Pokemon in any way you would like. So, ideally you have a bunch of metal energy in discard. You will manually attach 1 to your Duraludon. Spoilers, we play Duraludon in this deck. You will manually attach 1 and then evolve straight into your Archaludon, pulling 2 metal to itself, allowing you to use the Metal Defender attack for 220, 3 metal. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon has no weakness. So that Fire-type weakness you see at the bottom, no you don't. So, that is our main attacker. That's the deck. Thank you guys so much for watching. So, we also play 4 of the regular Duraludon, the baby formy, if you will. Shout out any Wolf fans in the chat. Let's go. There's no chat. So, Duraludon. You play it because you have to, but it also has some relevant attacks, which is why I played this one specifically. I don't like the Hyper Beam one. I think the Hyper Beam one has really cool artwork. Shout out Jace for trying to convince me to play that one instead. But this is actually the optimal Duraludon to be playing in this deck. You have Hammer for 1 metal, does 30. That is relevant because for 1 energy, you can KO a Bidoof. Moving on. Raging Hammer. This one's actually really big. This attack comes up a lot, and I'll explain why when we get there. So for 2 metal and 1 colorless, Raging Hammer does 80 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So fun fact, Crustle hits for 120. If he hits your Duraludon and does not knock it out, and you have 3 energy on your Duraludon, you can hit him right back for 200 damage. Now you may be thinking, what if they have a Luxurious Cape? Well, you're going to find out here soon that we play Kieran in the deck, which does improve your damage output a little bit. We also play Binding Mochi, so if your Duraludon is poisoned, there's going to be a little bit of shenaniganry that happens there, but basically what you need to know is with either Kieran plus poison your opponent, or Kieran plus Binding Mochi on poisoned Duraludon, we can get there. Don't worry about it. We have Crustle outs, boys. Alright, so on to the poison package. Brute Bonnet. We play 2 copies. I really wish I had 2 of this, but I wasn't really going to focus on it because it is a G-block card, which is why this deck changes so much in the post-rotation format in 2026. So, what does Brute Bonnet do? It has the ability Toxic Powder. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached to it, you may make both active Pokemon poisoned. What's important about that to learn and to pay attention to... Sorry, I'm going to make sure... Yeah, okay, my audio is going. I didn't actually proofread that. So, if this thing is in the active position and it has the booster energy, ancient booster energy capsule attached to it, you can poison both Pokemon. It doesn't have to be in the active to do that, but that is to say that if this has the ancient booster energy capsule attached, it cannot be poisoned. It cannot be affected by special conditions, which is really, really important. So sometimes you will have this in the active position and you will poison both of them just so that you can retreat the Brute Bonnet and not have poison stacking up on your other guys. It is somewhat relevant. It'll come up in the future as we talk about more cards. Because we played 2 copies of Pecharunt, this thing, absolutely insane. Toxic Subjugation. This card does not rotate, but poisoning your opponent is so much tougher to do post-rotation. And I know that there are some Chaos Raising cards that can do it. I don't think they're very good, at least for this strategy. I think they're very good cards. I don't think they do what Brute Bonnet does for the deck. Toxic Subjugation. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, put 5 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon during Pokemon Checkup. Fun fact, at this challenge, there were a couple of new people, so I had to explain, and I had to look them in their eye and tell them that Pokemon Checkup happens after each player's turn. So you are not just taking the poison damage when I pass it over to you, you are taking that poison damage when you pass it back to me, champion. Really, really unfor it. We don't attack with this guy. We don't attack with Brute Bonnet either. They're just here to do poison type things. So, moving on, we played 2 copies of Squawkabilly EX. This is another G-Block card that is going to rotate out. So, all of that is to say, this is something that if you are interested in playing this deck, definitely play it as soon as you can, because time is running out, dude. It's like the Muse song. Any Muse fans in the chat, let me know. Alright, once again, there's no chat. So, if you don't know what this card does by now, I will let you know. Squawk and Seize. Once during your first turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can only use 1 Squawk and Seize ability per turn. I'm paraphrasing poorly. We play 2 because we really, really, really need to see this on turn 1. So prizing your 1 of Squawkabilly is really, really bad in the deck. So playing 2 just makes a lot of sense. And Motivate does also come up. It can come up later in the game. Because for 20 damage, 1 colorless energy, you can attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So this can help you reset Duraludons and Archaludons later on in the game, which is really, really nice. So, play 1 copy of Latias EX. This one, I don't care enough to play 2 copies. We just play 1 of the Latias. You have to do it. So this makes it to where any of these guys that aren't named Archaludon EX can pivot back out so that you can put your Pecharunt into the active position and start stacking more poison damage. Latias EX, very, very, very important in this deck. Play 1 copy of Mew EX. I was able to find this full art that I pulled quite a while ago. Probably going to sell this off soon, dude. If you guys have any copies of this, definitely liquidate it. Unless you're a 151 collector or a Mew collector, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, this card's worth money. Sell it if you want to. So, restart. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. So between this, Squawkabilly, and spoilers, we do play Carmine in this deck as well. You're going to be churning through a lot of cards on your first turn. Mew is just a really, really great draw engine to help with that. A lot of times you can get your hand going down low, use your Mew to draw 3 cards, play those cards if you can, use your Carmine, use your Squawkabilly, keep tossing and keep drawing cards. Another card that draws cards, Pheasantipede EX. If you don't know what this does, get good. Just kidding. That is really, really weird. Flip the Script is the only thing that we're really using this for. Technically, you could use Cruel Arrow. Technically, on Mew, you could use Genome Hacking as well, but these are mostly here for abilities. Once during your turn, if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. You can only use 1 Flip the Script per turn. Moving on, play 1 copy of Relicanth. This is actually one that you could consider running 2 of. I think this is a really, really good card moving forward. I think this is going to help out a small handful of decks with its Memory Dive ability. Can you guys, I hope you guys can read that. This camera quality is so garbage right now, but I really wanted to get this video out. So, Memory Dive. Each of your evolved Pokemon can use any attacks from its previous evolutions. You still need the necessary energy, but this makes it to where that Raging Hammer attack that we were talking about from Duraludon does 80 plus 10 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. What if you had more HP to work with? So, if, say, Archaludon has taken 190 points of damage, now you can do 190 plus the 80. So, you get to do 270 with Kieran. That goes up even further with Binding Mochi. That goes up even further. So there is some one-shot potential in this deck towards the mid to late game because of Relicanth being in the deck. Very, very important. And our last Pokemon that we play is one copy of the Mega Mawile EX because it is a metal type Pokemon, which means Archaludon can fling metal energy onto this super easy. We can charge either of its attacks up in just one turn. So we can either gobble down for 80 damage for each prize card you have taken, not your opponent, important distinction, or Huge Bite for 260 unless your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, in which case it is only 30, but a lot of times 260 is big smack. So if you're going up against, like, I don't know, man, Goldengo, you can smack them there. I don't know, it's good for like taking out Blood Moon or Archaludon and whatnot as well. So that is the Pokemon that we play. Moving on to the items, we do play a fairly thick item count. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of items. Look at all those items. Anyway, so we are playing like a really thick consistency suite. Nest Ball does rotate. Absolutely get rotated on. For Nest Ball, massive card in the deck. Search your deck for a basic, put it on your bench, shuffle your deck. Play 4 copies of Ultra Ball as well. This one, very similar to how Gardevoir will Earthen Vessel to find Psychic Energy, and then Ultra Ball away the Psychic Energy so you have stuff in your discard and you also get to search. You will do that same thing here a lot of the time. So you will Earthen Vessel, find 2 Metal Energy, and then use Ultra Ball to discard those 2 Metal Energy. Oftentimes to find an Archaludon, because now you have 2 Metal Energy in the discard, which means when you evolve into Archaludon, he gets to fuel himself up. For Ultra Ball, very good in this deck. Big consistency boost, by the way, in 3 Pokepad. I didn't find 4 to be necessary. Also, I only have 3 for now. But Pokepad, absolutely insane. So this doesn't search everything in the deck, but this does search a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, reveals it and puts it in hand. So this can search out your Relicanth, this can search out your Duraludon, but most importantly, this can search out your Brute Bonnet and your Pecharunt. So this is a really disgusting way to make this deck more consistent on that first turn to be able to get poison damage rolling. Moving on, 3 Earthen Vessel. We don't play a bunch of energy in this deck, but with 3 Earthen Vessel, we can technically search every single energy in the deck. Because spoilers, we do play 6 metal in this deck. You don't have to play a lot because we do recycle them a lot with the Archaludon. However, finding the metal energies is very important. A lot of times, since we are turboing through our deck with the Carmines and the Squawkabillies and the Mew EX, the Pheasantipity EX, like all of the shenanigans, the Earthen Vessel does come up a whole lot so that we can search out the metal energies early so that we don't draw into them off of our secondary draw effects, and we get to load up the discard, which again is why you like to play Poison with Archaludon. Because if you don't get the Poison Dog, guess what? You just have a bunch of stuff in your discard that you can use for later. So, speaking of things in the discard, this is the only thing I think that I would probably change in this deck. I would love to play a 4th Night Stretcher. I just don't know where it would go. I just simply don't know where it would go. But Night Stretcher, very important, because again, if you miss your Poison Dong, this is really great way to be able to get those pieces back. And sometimes you just have to make discards you don't want to do. And honestly, late game, this can happen a whole lot too, where you most of your energy is in the discard. So when you're trying to make another Archaludon, you can get the 2 attached, but you can't get the 3rd one attached. So you can actually use your Iron Defender and use your, Raging Hammer? Is that it? Is it Raging Hammer? Let's go, it is Raging Hammer. So, being able to have the Night Stretchers is really good. Again, since we discard so many things in this deck, it's really nice to be able to Night Stretcher late game to bring an Archaludon back that we've already discarded, just so that we can progress and actually put damage on the board to be able to take knockouts to win the game, as one does when they're trying to win the game. Moving on, we got 3 more items, 2 copies of Pokegear 3.0. I wish I could play 20 of these. Frankly, being able to find your Carmine on that turn 1 is just so massive. We don't play a lot of supporters in this deck, so it might seem like the Pokegear doesn't do very much, but having these is absolutely instrumental because, again, you need to see that Carmine on turn 1 if you are going to be pulling off poison shenanigans. And for our last item, we are, of course, playing Secret Box, the best ace spec in the game, pre-rotation. You can only use this card if you discard 3 other cards from your hand. Once again, discarding metal is absolutely chef's kiss. Discard 3 cards from your hand, search your deck for an item, a tool, a supporter, a stadium, reveal it, put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck. So, this is really good because obviously we need a poison, or we need stuff to make the poison stuff work. So, if we have a Pokemon tool and a stadium that we can search off of this, and an item, that means we only need one of Pokepad, Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Petrarunt, Brute Bonnet. That's what? 2, 4, 7, 11, 15 cards. So we need one of those 15 cards plus Secret Box nets us a GG most of the time. So Secret Box, absolutely based card in this deck. You have to play it. Also, shout out this Tapu Koko. Got this, the Seattle Regional. There we go. Now we got some focus. Apparently I just need to bring things all the way into the front of the camera. All right, let's go. So moving on. Got 4 Carmine for our supporter suite. We do play other supporters, but this is the most important one. If you go first, you may use this card during your first turn, discard your hand, and draw 5 cards. This is sticking around post-rotation, so like maybe there's still something here for like a Carmine Archaludon build. I'm definitely going to keep messing around with this deck, because like now that I'm back from Seattle and the contract is fulfilled with Goldango, now I get to play more fun stuff. Not that Goldango's not fun, but I get to play other things, which to me is more fun. Just being able to play diverse things. Got 2 Boss's Orders. Love the Corbeau one, by the way. If I had full arts of the Corbeau, I would definitely be playing them. I absolutely love this guy. He's one of my favorite characters to ever exist in Pokemon, probably since like Steven Stone, honestly. Like Steven and Corbeau, that's kind of rocking. All right, and of course, our last supporter, as I have alluded to earlier, is Kieran. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, or during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX and not V, because V are not in the format. So this can be really important to get extra damage on board, because again, Archaludon doesn't hit for very hard unless he has already been hit. Because Iron Defender, it gives you no weakness, so you get to be more bulky. It doesn't do a lot of damage though. 220 is like abysmal. Like you can knock out a Fez, but like a Sneeze could knock out a Pheasantipity, you know what I mean? So playing the Kieran is really nice, because we also play, as we will get to in just a sec, we play Binding Mochi, because we do a lot of poisoning in this deck. That is like the name of the deck is Poison Arch, Poison Bridge. So Stadium, of course, play 4 Perilous Jungle. You have to do it. This is also an H regulation card, so like the only stuff we're really losing is the Brute Bonnet and Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. So if there's a way in the future to like actually play good cards that can poison your opponent, we will probably bring this back, because I do think that poison is probably the strongest way to play Archaludon. But during Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each poisoned non-dark Pokemon. So between this Petrarunt and your regular poison, you're doing 80 damage to non-dark Pokemon. Worth noting that if they are dark-type Pokemon, they will only be taking 60 damage, because poison, of course, does 10. And your Petrarunt stacks an additional 5. So that is kind of how the donk works. Ideally, your opponent doesn't have anything that has more than 80 HP on the board. Ideally, nothing on bench. This did happen. Around 3, I was going up against Dragapult, and that poor sucker. He started a Badoo and nothing else. And he was just, he's a buddy of mine, so he's garbaging me a little bit. He's like, oh, you don't have it, you don't have it. I opened Squawk, Carmine, and Secret Box. And I'm like, but I can't, and Petrarunt inactive. I'm like, yeah, dude, I kind of have it. He's like, no, you don't have it, you don't have the energy capsule. And I played the Secret Box, and he's like, all right, man, GG. So that lasted 62 seconds, which was really funny. I immediately shot my hand up. I'm like, Judge, we need our match slip, please. And we both just started cackling. It was super funny. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. The camera did its thing. Hang on. All right, when I tell you we're back, we are so back. Anyway, started laughing. 62 seconds. I looked up at the timer, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Almost got the sub 1 minute. But Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, very important to this deck. This is another one of the G-Block cards that will be rotating out. Big, sad. However, the ancient Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 60 HP. That is relevant, by the way. Recovers from all special conditions, less relevant, and can't be affected by any special conditions, much more relevant. Because again, we don't want to poison ourselves, but we can if we need to. But Ancient Booster Energy Capsule says that we don't have to. And our final 2 tools, we play 2 copies of Binding Mochi, because again, Archaludon hits like a wet noodle, my dude. So like being able to poison it and your opponent to do more poison damage to your opponent, but also using Binding Mochi to increase our own damage by 40. Very relevant. So between Binding Mochi and Kieran, we can increase our damage by 70, which is kind of relevant. So if we increase our damage by 70 and we have our opponent poisoned, I'll increase it by 80. Plus 2 from jungle, increase it by 100, which means we're hitting 320, which is like a fairly relevant number to hit. It doesn't KO everything, unfortunately, but there's it's a fun deck, dude. Whatever. It's a good deck. It's a fun deck. Definitely play it before rotation happens, because once G is gone, it's gonna be tough to play this. 6 energy to finish us off, and that, my friends, is Poison Bridge. This is something that I've had built for a very, very long time at this point. But I just kept forgetting that it existed. At one point, I was going to film a deck profile video of it, and then just kind of forgot. So, my bad on that. However, now we get to get into the goodies. So I think, oh gosh, this is so tough. I think take 1 Phantasmal Flames, 1 Series 7, and we'll take the Mega Evolution from here. So we'll crack into this. Okay. Now there's, what is this? Stickers, bro? Honestly, heat. Super, super sick. Yo, see that Piplup? I don't know where it's going, but it's gonna go somewhere good. Shout out Piplup. You can't see her, but she is right behind me. She's sleeping. All right, so in Series 1 of the Illustration Partner Collection, you can get either, and I love that they separated them by region. It makes it very, very easy to complete the set versus other things. So you can get either the Kanto starters, or the Alola starters, or the Sinnoh starters, and frankly, any of them would be sick. I like Alola. I like the Pokemon in Alola. I don't actually like Sun and Moon. But I like Alola conceptually. Now, these 3 right here are going to the vault, so we will see those at a later time. Oh gosh. Oh, my fingers are in the way. Alright, bye guys. I don't know when we're going to open those yet, but we'll open them at some point. However, these we're going to open right here, right now, today. Starting with the Illustration Collection. Let's see here. Oh, I'm so excited to be opening this. These are super, super cool, and I couldn't really find them anywhere around me, but I was able to find them at the card shop that I went to for this challenge. Now let's see. My stare at computer, not at the cards. Let's go, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're so good, Bulbasaur. I love you so much. So, I'm not gonna sell any of them, is the thing. I really would love to just complete this entire illustration set as it comes out. I will say this is the most valuable of the sets. Definitely not Bulbasaur is the most valuable. We'll show you. This guy is the most valuable because everybody loves the Charmander. He does look really, really slick, by the way. And of course we got Squirtle. Oh, looks so good, dude. Alright, so that being said, I'm not going to sell any of these. If I was going to do anything with the Charmander, it would be giving it away to my buddy. But I'm also not going to do that because I just want to collect them all. Oh, dude, how cool is this too? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at Juice. Got our Blastoise. Got our Charwadod. Ah, and we got our Venusaur. Absolute babes. Let's go. Alright, so we hit exactly what we wanted to. Got 3 Phantasmal Flames and a prize pack Series 7 to open. Let's open, or Series 8, just kidding. 7 went to the vault. Let's open this prize pack Series 8, see what we can get in here. I don't actually know everything that's in 8, but I know that Team Rocket's Transceiver is in it. Risky Ruins, not that bad. Hop Snorlax, good to have. Iron Defender, yo, my boy, Iron Defender. Yo, and a Hollow Basic Grass Energy. Not upset. Not upset. We'll set that right here with the Bulbasaur, actually, because, fun fact, I really want to be playing Venusaur in the next format. I don't think it's going to be that great, but I do think that I love Bulbasaur and I love Venusaur, so we're definitely going to try our hand at it. So, okay. So I'm super excited that I got the Kanto starters out of my collection box as well, because like I said, those are the most expensive ones, and I'm not gonna sell them off. But I do want to complete the entire set, and like I don't know. At this point, buying singles might be the way to go. Might see if I can try and trade for a set from somebody. So We'll find out. Yo, Dawn, huge W. Just not having to track down the more expensive ones is kind of a huge W as well. Love you, Flygon. Alright, 2 more Phantasmals. And if you guys are still here, drop a like and let me know. I have a cup coming up this next week. What should I play to the cup that ideally something that will be rotating? And I would love to play something goofy, something silly. Just to like give it one last hurrah before we go, you know? Blowtorch, Palmot. Alright, last pack. Can we get some magic? The magic might have gone to the vault. We won't know for like a while, but let's find out. Also, if you guys skip to the end, that is totally a-okay. I'm just happy you're here. Drop a like, drop a sub, etc. Let's do this. Gligar, Smeargle, Pawmi, Bronzong, Dawn again, massive W, Seviper. Got the Reshiram reverse, Zigzagoon. All the heat went to the vault. That's okay. That'll be some good heat for a later day. However, today we got bulk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm literally going to put this on a pile that has Moltres as the top card of the pile, as we have Moltres. Dude, just absolutely turning things into bulk left and right. Let's go. I'm basically a bulk supplier if you think about it. Which is crazy when you really think about it, because I hardly know her. However, that has been Poison Bridge, and this is the absolute goats of the illustration rare collection. Super excited for these 3. Mostly this guy. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that Bulbasaur is my widow guy, and I love him so much, and he's just so cute. Not hanging up here. There's a Bulbasaur necklace somewhere. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I've been Santa. You guys have been awesome. I have some perfect order coming here soon. Don't know exactly when that will get uploaded, but we're gonna crush through the booster box as soon as we get it, basically, and we will go from there. Gonna be competing in a cup next week, so we will see what I decide to play for that cup, because I'm thinking silly, dude. I almost want to play Festival Lead. And I almost want to do, like, I don't know. I don't want to play Tatsugiri EX, but I kind of want to play Tatsugiri EX. Know what I mean? Alright, if you guys have any ideas of what I should play to my next cup, it should be on Tuesday. Drop them in the comments. Let me know. In the meantime, I've been Santa. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Poke Workshop, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.